organization. I'm happy that Sothawaca is not going it alone. Madam came from Lagos. She's also working in this thematic area. And also partner with several other organizations so that together we can reclaim our country. Until we reclaim our country, we are only pushing the doom day forward. Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder and it is waiting to explode. Until we join hands together to say enough is enough and pull our country back from the precipice, we are in for trouble. And so the Nigerian Medical Association is very appreciative of the modest contribution of Sothawaca since its inception, and to say that we encourage many more bodies, because what we have seen in this country is that non-governmental organizations are never supported by government. People think that NGOs are formed for the purpose of making money. If one thinks so, just go and form one. I'm sure Roke will tell you what she has gone through. We try to just put together this sensitization discussion.
Awogu, please put your hands together for her.
Thank you very much. I beg to be allowed because I don't really know the protocol here. I have only one senior colleague here. So it's not on the medical. That's okay. Members of the high table. I can see a lot of elder statesmen here. I will call them elder statesmen whether anybody is or not because they are. So my name is Amaka. I think I'll start with our greetings from Lagos. Eko Omi Gbajero. As you all know, from Child Dignity Foundation, and the Child Dignity Foundation is a child protection, development, and advocacy organization that is committed to the total well-being of children, especially those from disadvantaged background. We are on this issue of child sexual abuse as it has become a crime that is on the increase in Nigeria at an alarming rate, considering the ages of this victim, including infants. When I say infants, I'm talking about 6-month-old baby. And it's difficult for Nigerians to usually talk about sex abuse on children. They always believe it is there, but it's not there. I've had cases where you talk to parents and tell you, this is actually happening in Nigeria. No, it happens abroad, not here in Nigeria. So the problem we have, and a lot of parents are beginning to forget that if you don't teach these children, somebody else is going to teach these children in their own way, in their own terms, and in their own language. I have a video to play here today. It was part of the documentary where we had cases, some of the cases that were being recorded and put together as a documentary, but apparently I have not the projector over here. But what I'll do is that I'll just talk about 1 or 2 stories because my talk is going to be relating to those stories and issues. Sorry, the boy is 9 years old and he was defied by a neighbor. He's a political dog and well known in the area, and he abused this boy at age 9 several times in a pit-hole toilet, modern pit-hole toilet. And it was that bad that because there was actual penetration through the mouth and anus, and the boy screams when he tries to do it from the anus, he makes the boy to put his head in the toilet so he would scream out. So, and the boy had suffered a lot of infection and medical issues. Not only that was that child abused, he was robbed of everything he had. That particular boy was robbed of everything he had. His self-dignity, he was stigmatized. He was stigmatized by neighbors. They called him the guy's wife. And he had this issue, he had problem of going to school because the neighbors, when he comes out, everybody calls him the man's wife. So he rather stay at home till 11 o'clock when he's sure that all the kids has gone to school, then he starts going to school. And unfortunately for him, the school is not too far from where he lives. So everybody in the school know about what happened to the boy. So it was stigmatized at home, within the neighborhood, and picked that boy at age 10 to school. Horrible. At the 9, 10, the boy couldn't do anything. There is another girl on that. I'm trying to just give, because I'm going to make a lot of reference to the story there. I thought I would have had like 4 minutes to show the trailer. Then you had another girl that was defied by her uncle, who is a proprietor of a nursery and primary school. And it was that bad that the girl, if you put the girl down and open her, she's open, you see the hole. It's really, I'm trying to do some kind of, I don't know, medically I don't know all the terms, doctor, so permit me. So you put the child down, and the doctor was like, this girl needs 10 years of no penetration for her vagina to recover itself. And not only that, that child had STD. And when he wants to sleep with a child, he puts another 8-year-old girl. So when he finishes with a 4-year-old girl, he mounts on the 8-year-old girl. So that's what he was. And both of them had STD. But the mother of the 8-year-old girl didn't want any form of anything for them. She didn't want anybody to persecute the she just wanted the guy to go and treat her daughter. So that was, and the guy is a proprietor of a nursery and primary school. Let me just lay that these stories, both stories. Let me go back to what we did. I'll make a lot of references as I'm going to the story. Child sexual abuse. A lot of people assume it's sexual intercourse, penetration. That is not what it's all about. There are different forms of abuse, and can be classified into 2. You could have either direct or indirect. About direct, you're talking about funding. Again, a general term for what we understand. Uncle, come and sit on uncle's lap. And when you sit on uncle's lap, things start happening sitting on uncle's lap. That's funding. Sometimes you make the kids to pull her undies, and you do a lot of things. So it's funding. You have the penetration. And you make a child touch your sexual parts and other stuff like that. It's part of direct form of sexual abuse. Then you have the indirect one, where the child is being exposed to a lot of, let's say, porno. You have sexual material, sexual intercourse material. There was a girl that the mother was meant at age 7 to watch adult movies with her. That's what she does to the daughter. She makes the girl to watch it and talk about her with her daughter. Then you have behavioral things that has to do with sexual relationship, sex intercourse. That's part of indirect. The major objective here today is the importance of speaking out. Before I go into the cost of speaking out, I want to talk about the importance of speaking out. The importance of speaking out, I want to talk about the effect of sexual abuse on children, sex abuse on children, child sex abuse. You have the number one thing you notice about the child, they always have antisocial behaviors. They keep to themselves. Even when they don't keep to themselves, they don't talk much. They are always moody. You see that they just don't want to talk to anybody, they just want to keep to themselves. You have depression, just like what happened to that boy. He was depressed, and unfortunately for him, the mother didn't know how to handle the boy. So what they do to him at home, they abuse him as well. They keep hitting him, beating him. You've been in this house for how many days? This guy was doing this thing to you, and he didn't send it to anybody. He didn't tell anybody for 3 months. Continuously, the boy was getting everyday beating from mother, sisters, and brothers. Then you have a low self-esteem. When we pick up this particular boy, he could barely talk because, one, he can't read, and he didn't find himself to fit with his age mates. Because a lot of them could express themselves, they could read, they could write. He couldn't do that. So you find that they have low self-esteem. So when you ask him a question, he takes his time to talk to you. If he wants to talk to you, he talks and starts going, nine can't talk, say, you know, there's a way he goes. He's not finding himself. Then they have questionable morals. I did a training somewhere, and when I finished, I remember there was a day I went to my children's school to pick them. And I saw a woman shouting, making trouble. I didn't know what happened, but I was in a hurry. I said, just pick my kids, and I was like, madam, whatever it is, you need to calm down. The kids are watching, addressing with the principal and stuff, and the head teacher and stuff. She said, okay. They've been fighting her spiritually, physically. In fact, they disowned her because she owned up to confront her uncle that had been abusing her for over 16 years. 16 years. Started abusing her at age 9, and at age 14 had B and C for her, but she got pregnant. And he's a medical doctor. But apparently he's a politician, and I have to look at him, sorry. No, I know it's not you. Sorry. So he's a politician and has some political ambitions. So now the family is fighting her physically and spiritually. She will tell you she's not. Luckily for her, she lives abroad. So she gets to Nigeria. They told her they are waiting for her. They were all down, and she was there. So they told her, "We are waiting for you. Get here and come and start telling the story. Then you see what the family do." So then you have where you have pressure. Sometimes this pressure might not be directly from family. It might be with maybe relatives, friends, neighbor. They start talking to you that just let it go. It has happened. Don't worry. It is well. That the common language is that now you be God. Don't worry. God will find him. God will punish him. It's a very common language we hear every day. Neighbors will tell you, they come together, they send delegates. Sometimes you get delegates as far as from the village. They come down and tell you and start talking to you. But another problem you have is support. And another advantage that sometimes, most time, when you come out to speak out, you get to the right place, you get all the support you need. So you might be lucky you get all the support. And sometimes the family could be supportive. Because like that boy's own case, when we intervened, the family were ready. They were like, okay, fine. They really wanted justice for that child. The mother wanted justice. She is a woman that could barely afford 1 square meal. But when this thing came up, she stood by the child, and she was offered 200,000 naira. She declined and said all she wanted for this child was justice. And how can a man do this to her son and come and give her money? And how much does he want to pay her? This is a woman that the family was almost kicking out of her house because she was taking this guy to court. And the surprising thing here that the guy is physically challenged. I did this thing to this boy. So the community as a whole, the pressure was on her. She had delegates from the political party where the guy belonged, delegates from the ballet around the area. She was fighting against all odds. Then you have a cost of taking out the prize. One of the prizes on the part of society, you have societal stigma. I am happy we're having this talk here today, and I want to appeal to us as Nigerians. When you see a child being defiled or a woman raped, they need all the support they can from us. The trauma they go through, if you stay close to them and know what they go through, you will understand where I'm coming from. We need to support them. We should stop giving them stigma, tagging them, giving them names. It's a very common thing we see every day. Names. They give them names, even within your peers. As parents, educate your parents, even your friends. Talk to their children. They shouldn't do that. There's a girl, that girl, why the father decided to go for money was that the school where the father finally withdrew the girl and took the girl to another school close to their house where they stay. The school management had to ask him to withdraw the child from the school that they heard she was raped, and the teacher that raped her had HIV, so that the girl has HIV, so they cannot have the girl in their school. And this was one of the things we wanted to take up, and the man was like, we can't find him anywhere. We can't find him anywhere. So please, I'm happy we're here having this talk. They need our support, not laugh or names. Another one you could get from society is pity. Nigerians are very good at that. Yeah, how can it happen? Oh, sorry, it will. It's different expression. Believe me, it ends there. If that woman goes to court for 1 year, she's on her own. If she goes to court for 1 year, and rape case is one, this child defilement rape case are one, they are difficult, very, when I tell you, so difficult, like what Dr. Wilson was saying. Sometimes it's your word against a person's word, and how do you want the person to send that person to prison? when you find the person there's lack, or you find some evidence wanting and there's lack of evidence, how do you want to prosecute and send the person to jail? It becomes a problem. I'm trying to be as brief as possible. Okay, they have the problem of the law enforcement agency. Do you respect, sir? Can I go ahead? No, I will tell you, if you have 10 or 1,000